Hey, welcome back. I just made a video, so hopefully you're able to see that, but I'm going to do some cooking now, and what we're going to have today is a very simple dish. You can make at home. I really enjoyed it a lot, and we'll show you two of the main components. This is going to tell you exactly what it is, and to do it right, it does need to have both of these jars. Let me cut a little bit more light on it here. In my opinion, it needs both of these jars, right? So what I'm making is like, instead of like chicken Alfredo, I'm going to be using a different type of meat, but it's the same concept. This Alfredo is my favorite. It's by Bertolli, and it is really good. Let me cut this on. Bam, can you see that? I always get the garlic Alfredo version. There's 2 or 3 of these. You know, you may have another favorite, but this is my favorite, and this is what I get. I can usually make it work with one. What happens is if you have leftovers, and I'm going to make a large batch so that I have something to eat whenever I need it. You know, I'm going to have it ready to go. But you know, I don't want to do a whole lot of talking, but the key is to have enough of this, because by the time you reheat it, it's going to seem like it's non-existent. When I use 2 of these, then it seems like it comes out just right, you know. So we're going to be using 2 of those. But first, we got to do some prep work. Some of the things we're going to be adding to this dish, we're going to be adding these freshly sliced mushrooms. You know, some of you might not be down with mushrooms, but I promise you, once you cook them and saute them like we're going to be doing, and I'm going to be using this green pepper here too. It's on the verge of needing, you know, you can tell like maybe another 4 or 5 days you won't even want to use it. But right now, I'm not going to waste money. I'm going to use it. There's nothing wrong with this. I do have some fresh ones I just bought, which that's fresh too, don't get me wrong. I do have some fresh ones I just bought, but I don't want to bust into these until I don't want to waste my money. So anyways, gotta be smart. You know, how do you think rich people keep their money, man? A lot of times they have to be a little bit stingy with it. They have to think outside the box, reuse things, or do things in a different way. And there's a lot of people who are flashy that, you know, looks like they have a lot of money and they spend it on brand new cars and brand new houses and all this stuff, you know. But what do you have? A huge debt. You have a lot of debt, and that's always over your shoulder until you're able to pay it off. I don't know why I went on that tangent. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this going over here. So first thing we need to do, I've already had this water heat up a little bit to the point that, you know, it's not going to take as much effort to get it boiling. First, let's cut that on 5 so it'll be the right temperature. First, we need to take care of this chopping here that we have to do. Get the sauteing going on. Alright, so let's do this. This pepper's multiple colors too. Very interesting. Okay, so it doesn't take too much effort. Go ahead and slice this open. You want to get this white stuff out of here. I have these older knives. They're not super sharp, but I really enjoy using them for something like this. So you don't worry about cutting your finger off, because you can get cut if you're not careful. This has a serrated part, and then it has the flat part, so it's like the best of both worlds. Okay, so you see all these seeds are in there. Don't worry about that right this second. What we're going to just focus on is getting this fleshy white part out. And a lot of times I have to sacrifice that inner part right there. See, nothing wrong with these. So I have this waste I want to get rid of, but at the same time I want to wash these off and get rid of these seeds here. So that's what I'm going to do. Bring this over to the sink. I'm just going to rinse this off. Get those seeds out of there. Okay, we have that rinse, but at the same time our plate is not ready. We got to do something with our plate, right? We got to get our plate clean. So I'm going to take and get rid of that. Okay. plate clean. We have all the seeds off. Just focus on the chopping. If you want things to cook evenly, then you need to have even sections, if that makes sense. You don't want a bunch of different size pieces, or things are going to cook at a different rate of speed. I noticed that's one of the things Chef Ramsay looks out. I haven't really been watching that show a lot lately, but I just know for a fact, because I haven't been cooking, man. There's such a joy in cooking that I miss. That's why I not forced myself, but I just had to do it today. I just had to do it, man, just to bring back a piece of my, you know, it brings a peace to me. It brings a peace and joy. So in order to restore that feeling, just got to get in here and cook. Alright, so I have these pretty much the same size. And it's not going to be perfect. Yours won't either be perfect unless you're, you know, certified chef. And that's a whole nother topic. Okay, so I've got my green pepper. Green and orange pepper. Alright, so let's turn the eye on. Actually, here's what I want to do before I cut the eye on. Let's drop these off. I want this to cook at basically the same temperature. We'll drop those off, right? And then we're going to come back over here. I'm going to cut the eye back off. And now we got to deal with these. Mushrooms don't take a lot. They need to be chopped up, but one thing I want to do, I want to rinse these off. So I'm about to do that now. Some people don't like mushrooms because of the texture. It can be very squishy, but the way I'm going to cook these, they're going to have a great flavor, and they're going to get rid of hopefully most of that, you know, the texture issues that you might have. I find it funny, and I've said this before, whenever you cook something, you chop the mushrooms up very finely and you make them taste very good, and people don't even know that they're in there. A lot of times people won't like mushrooms, but all of a sudden they like your dish a lot, and they want to know, like, how did you do that? And you have to tell them mushrooms, man. So, I have my mushrooms. Not really much to these, just running the knife through them. I kind of take and dice as I go along. Spin the plate. Gotta be careful because they do want to fly. With this dish, I kind of like them a little bit larger, not really fine. If I was going to do fine, I probably would have wanted to have less on the plate. And just get rid of, you know, the ones that I have on the plate, and then add more as I go along. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. I try to speak in generalities, you know, so all audience are able to be on the same level, you know. We're all vibing at different frequencies, different levels. Okay. Alright, so I have these about as diced as I need them or want them. And same concept, we cut the heat back off. We're just going to take these over and drop them off. I'm making a big batch of this stuff. Let me get rid of these few that are left. Oh no, that's a close-up. Got a close-up, didn't you? Right. Don't want to waste, right? Waste not, want not. Alright, so we have those mushrooms and we have the green peppers. What do you think we're missing? We're going to use this plate again here in just a second. We're missing one more item, right? First of all, let's, they didn't have the big, I forgot to tell you all about new spices, right? I usually have this container that's really, for my salt, it was putting a lot of salt out because the holes are huge. Don't get me wrong. This one has one big hole right here. And so I just took the pepper, I emptied the pepper, and I got me a brand new pepper, right? So I just used that pepper for the salt. And I just flipped the cap over. You know I need to clean that. Who cares? It has smaller holes is what I was trying to show you. And ultimately, it doesn't put as much of this out. So I am going to put a little bit of salt in there. And I got my brand new pepper here. Let's see if it's even open. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's open. So we're going to do a little bit of pepper too. Okay, so we got our salt and our pepper, and that's what I was going to say, that I like to get the big garlic like this, but all they have was a small. So we're going to make do. We're going to put a little garlic on there too. And let's see. So that's starting to look good. We're missing something, right? We're missing one thing. And again, if you don't like it, you don't have to use it, but you know what it's going to be. It's going to be one of these over here. Is it the American blended bite-sized potatoes? No. Is it the sweet potatoes? No. Not the potatoes. Oh, boom. It's got to be these now, right? So let's do this. Let's take an onion. These are Vidalia onions. I like them a lot. First thing I do, slice this end off. You gotta be careful how you hold the knife. And then roll it around. You see how I'm rolling it around? I'm gonna take this edge off, this first layer pretty much. Now I'm gonna come to the back side. I'm gonna cut it off too. Alright, same thing on this one. You wanna hit that edge. So now what do you got? Now you have two ends that are ready to peel off. You can go ahead and get rid of that outer side. Okay, don't worry if you have a little bit of this stuff flaking off. It'll come off when you wash it. But boom, I've got that cut to the point where it got rid of all the stuff that doesn't need to be up there. And now let's take it over here and rinse it. Alright, the water is perfectly warm now. It's ready to go into speed, into gear. So let's put that on 7 or 8. Let's get rid of the waste here. Slice the onion in half. Okay. When it gets small like that, I'll hit it sideways. Hit it from the side here. As long as you're trying to be somewhat consistent. And if you can, avoid that middle, the very middle. I just got rid of that. And let's do this one too here. There's another piece in the middle. I got rid of that. Alright, so when it comes to these onions, try to get them in this dish a little bit smaller. These are Vidalia onions. They're not going to have that strong bite, not generally, especially when you're cooking them like we're about to be cooking them. It's going to be sweet. Okay, so we have those ready. Let's add those. To tell you the truth, I think I made a crucial error. So, not crucial, but I consider it to be an error. Let's get this right. Let's get this joke off. The error is, I'm going to need to switch these. That's something else I'm going to be investing in, is some more pans and such. Lost a couple mushrooms, but it's okay. Alright, so rinse my pan out and get it back up to temperature. Our noodles need to go in. Told you I'm making a lot, and I'm going to make the best use I can out of this second jar of sauce. It's cut the temperature down because this is boiling good. So that's boiling really good, but that means it's evaporating and try to do it so it doesn't fly everywhere. Alright, so these are going to want to naturally stick together, so I try to put something like this in here, olive oil, to help get rid of that. Alright, boom, that's the last of that. But if you're adding noodles, you want to kind of add them at the same time. Does that make sense? They're all going to want to cook. You want them to cook at the same time, that way they're not uneven in their level of doneness. The completion. Okay, so looks like we're going to need a little bit more water. I don't want these to stick. I want them to come out good. Did you ever eat these as a child, these little sticks? Ask your parents, can you have one? It looks fun and cool, but it's really not that great. Okay, so let's see. I've got my pan going, so I gotta get some in this pan real quick then, right? What else are we missing? We're missing some kind of a meat. So what are we gonna do here? What are we gonna do? Let's get a meat. Cheddar, great flavor, man. I mean, this gives a great flavor, and that's why I said it might be a crucial error, because the flavor that it adds to the pan when you throw those onions and such in. Yeah, let's do it big. Let's use a whole pack. Normally I go with 3, but I'm also normally using less of the other items. So you have to go up in like amounts, if that makes sense. Everything, if you add an extra cup of sugar and you put all this other stuff in there, you need to add that at the same rate. I'm trying to cut these evenly so they get done at the same time. We just talked about that with the noodles and the other vegetables. Alright, let's put this in the pan. Oh yeah, I love to hear that sizzle. It sounds good. So we gotta hurry up and get this in there so they'll be done at the same time too. This tastes so great too, man. I had it the other day. I was really impressed. You can take a concept like chicken Alfredo and just make it a little bit different. And I don't know what the name of this is. So there is a dish. Maybe it's just sausage and Alfredo sausage. I don't know. But I like it either way. Okay, boom, we got all our sausages cooking. Alright, might be cooking a little too fast. What do you think? Let's get our stand over here so you can see what's going on. I use this as a stand. Alright, that might be one thing I might want to do. Also invest in some type of camera equipment or something to make better videos, something more stable, multiple cameras. I should have our noodles over here. And I add a little bit of olive oil, but I didn't have enough. So let's break out this new bottle right here. Got to take this cap off. And this is Bertolli. It's one of my favorite ones. I like it a lot. That's cooking a little bit too fast. You can just sense some of them were starting to burn. Alright, so we got those mixed up a little bit. And now let's focus on our noodles. Just put a little bit more olive oil in there. What I like to do, since I'm going to be using that to stir this, I'm going to be using this spatula to stir these, and I'm also at the same time going to make sure that these back here kind of use my spatula to make sure that they don't stick together. You'll find that they clump together and you'll have one big clump when it's done. And that's happened to me the past couple times. I'm going to see if I can avoid that this time. That's why I added a nice amount of that olive oil. And at the same time, I'm not neglecting them. I think that's when it starts to happen, when I don't pay attention to what's going on. Okay, it's still cooking over here. Alright, so I've got those separated. Don't want to forget to do that again. That's going to be very helpful. You can tell that limp noodle. Alright, so before that cooks, put the lid back on your noodles, get them up to a boil. Alright, so what can I do in the meantime? So I have this, and then at the same time I have these, I'll tell you one thing I need to do. I need to get this big pot and set it over here to the back. In the meantime, I can go ahead and start the process with this white sauce. Because here's what happens with the white sauce. Really thick. Don't forget about your sausage. Alright, we got our sausage moving around here. Got to babysit both of these, man. You can't even hardly take your eyes off of them. You don't want it to stick to the bottom. And I could probably use a bigger pot, but it takes a lot of water, man. It does. Water costs a lot. Okay, so. Alright, so I'm babysitting the noodles too, and the sausage, so they're not sticking. But in the meantime, we're going to try to go ahead and get this going real quick. I'm going to pop the bottom. Oh no. Man, thank God there was no sauce in there, right? That would have been terrible. Probably funny to you though, huh? Right, here we go. Add my sauce. See how it likes to stick to the sides? There's still quite a bit in there, and it's frustrating to get it out. I'll show you what I'm going to do. Put the second jar in there. Almost time to babysit the sausage again. I can feel it. Feel it coming. Let's see here. Alright, so we have two of these jars that still have quite a bit in there. You're wasting your money if you don't do this next thing. Let's take care of these real quick. What happens is it'll be really done on one side and not the other. The other side will seem uncooked. You want to cook these uniformly. You want to cut them uniformly. So just to see a pattern there, you want to kind of be consistent about how often you flip them and stuff. Okay. One thing let's save that grease actually for these, for this next. It has to go in there. That'll be perfect. All right, let's check on these noodles. Cut that back a little bit. It cut a little too high. Make sure you use the spatula or whatever you're using to get them off the bottom. That's where they like to stick. They like to clump together. We have plenty of that good stuff in there. Alright, here we go. I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in the noodles. And a little bit of salt. Yeah, I like the fact that I don't have to put it in my hand anymore, really. Okay, noodles are looking great. When they're done, I can just go ahead and add it to this white sauce back here. But in the meantime, No, I'm not gonna do that. Here we go. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the caps off of these two right here. I'm just gonna add a little bit of water. Not a lot, just a little bit of water. Okay. And then throw your lid back on. I'm telling you, it's really hard to get this stuff out. And just shake it up. Alright. Shake it up and then pour it in your container. Pour it in your with the rest of the sauce. Perfect. I got most of that out. I could go for another run, you know. Does that make sense? Alright, but we don't want anything else to burn at the same time. So normally I wouldn't even be talking, I'll just do it. Okay. Noodles are looking done. It won't be long at all. I can go ahead and kill the heat on that, probably. And get those over here in our final product. Okay, don't like anything sticking this time. I like that. Let's kind of bounce these around a little bit, get any of the residual fluid that's left, the water. And then we're just going to come over and come take our pasta and bring it right over here and dump it in. Okay, that's going to heat our pasta up. I better do this. Really well. Alright. Now, put the lid back on. Don't let that heat escape. Now let's focus on our sausages again. Oh, see, I left them alone a little bit long. But it's okay. They're not burnt. But maybe a little bit more brown than I would like. Okay, I got these two that fell off. I used to waste them, alright? I think the sausage is ready to come off. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. Now get those vegetables in there as soon as you can. Let's put our heat back up. look good. Look at these. Some people might would leave these out and just put them on top because they look so appealing that way when they're not covered in the sauce. But hey, man, this is going to add such a good, rich flavor. It's going to taste great. Okay, we got those mixed in. Let's get the lid back on. Now, okay, so I have these in there, and let's get that grease flavor on all this stuff that's in here. Let's get it mixed around really well. That's going to contribute to our flavor big time, but we're not going to stop there, obviously. You know me. So spice it up a little bit. So we're going to throw some, let's see, I think we already put a little bit of pepper in there, but based on the way it looks, a little bit more. And let's do a little bit more garlic. While that's cooking, this is something else I really like a lot. You probably use these disinfectant wipes. It's just so much easier